Well, the San Antonio Spurs are back from their 1-8 Rodeo Road Trip as they look to snap a 5-game losing streak against the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at the Frost Bank Center at 7:30. Marcus Morris was also bought out by the Spurs today. And in Texans news, it appears, according to Aaron Wilson of KPRC, that Saquon Barkley has interest in joining the Houston Texans.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't think.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Dad? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. However you may be joining, thanks for joining all the same, whether it's 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or you are one of the subscribers or hopefully soon to be subscribers to our YouTube channel where you can watch along with the show, listen to it, Bluetooth it to your car, or just put it in your AirPods and take me with you wherever you're going at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment along, follow along with the show. Everybody, what's going on? Lots to get into. Most importantly, I went off on a tangent about Victor Wembanyama and the Defensive Player of the Year. And I find out today that he is up as second best odds in Las Vegas to Defensive Player of the Year behind Rudy Gobert. Boom. I'm excited about that. I'm happy to hear about it because despite the wins, despite the awfulness around him singularly as a defensive player has been phenomenal. And you can put his stats up against anyone. They are comparable. And I will test, you would pick Victor Wembanyama. Him being number 2 now, I am more at ease with the fact that it is a possibility that he could win. Now, the voters may have something different to say about that, but be in the conversation, be a finalist for the award, give yourself a chance to win it. Don't write him off because he's a rookie, because what he's doing defensively is just insane in terms of the numbers that he is putting up on the season, especially in the minutes per game this season that he has done it in. It is otherworldly, and he's doing it so consistently right now, it's almost overlooked on a nightly basis. So I was excited to wake up and see the fact that DraftKings, Vegas Sportsbooks have him with the second best odds, and actually he's right on Rudy Gobert's heels in terms of where his betting odds are to win that award, because he deserves it. He deserves to be in the conversation. He deserves to be a finalist, and he deserves to really, really have a strong conversation to where you throw out that he's a rookie and you throw out that they have 11 wins and you look at what he's doing and go, yeah, he should be a rookie or a defensive player of the year. He is just playing that well. But I woke up with another gripe this morning because it's been over a month since we heard from Jerry Jones at the Senior Bowl. And RJ Ochoa, who was on the Morning Huddle this morning with Joe Reinagle, both of them, I heard them talking about Jerry's all-in comments. And I told you after his comments what he said right here on Extra Innings. And don't expect too much. But the media is pushing, expect it, because he said the words all in. And he did say the words all in. But there's a caveat to how he said the words all in. With our guys, our contracts, Here, I'll let you hear them.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year.
With our key contracts that we would like to address, we'll be all in. We all know who those contracts are. They're Dak, they're Micah, they're CD. And yes, could they technically open up some extra cap space by getting these deals done? Absolutely, they can. Will it be enough to quote unquote all in? Maybe go overpay for a Xavier Howard who's going to be released? Probably not. Are they going to be able to do what Buffalo did when they went and overspent to go get Von Miller? No, it's not going to open up that much cap space. But could you get a pretty good linebacker without overpaying, like maybe Josie Jewell, who's a free agent from the Broncos, and you have a need at that position? Yeah, you could do something like that. All in has a connotation that you're going to trade for Jalen Ramsey and give a whole bunch of money to Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry and really future be damned. And I've already seen it in the comments, and you heard it on the Blitz earlier today with those guys. You didn't hear the full context of it. Yeah, I've heard the full context of it because I've played this cut multiple times. I just shortened it to the most important part of what he said. You want the full context of what he said? I got that too.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year. So when you say, is there any thought, I think Will Strainer will push the hell out of it.
Is that doing something different than you have in the past in that respect?
Well, it will be, and it will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past. We'll be going all in. We've seen some things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. And that you this coming year, not building for the future, is the best way I would say it. And that ought to answer a lot of questions.
It doesn't. Because he also said we got to really disrupt the way we do things. And 2 questions later said, disrupt's a strong word. We're not looking to disrupt. Jerry does a good job of talking out of both sides of his mouth when he's pressed on something. He's a master at it. Going all in on guys he hasn't gone all in on them before. Well, he hadn't gone all in on Micah Parsons, and he hadn't gone all in on CeeDee Lamb because he hadn't paid him yet. They're working on rookie deals. This would be the first time he would be committing to going all in on these guys. It's ring between the lines with Jerry Jones a lot of the time because there is a lot of double talk that comes out of his mouth. And RJ Ochoa, who has already attacked this take on Twitter because there is a video out, because I felt as passionate about this as I did about Victor Wembanyama being a legitimate candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year. I feel that in my bones. I feel this in my bones. Jerry Jones told us exactly what he was going to do at the Senior Bowl. And his priority, as it has been for the last 10 years, is his own guys. But by doing things with his own guys, it will hopefully open up some cap space for him to do some other things in free agency by bringing not marquee names in, but players that can absolutely come in and help, especially in key positions. I'm going to have a further conversation with this. What's going on at the scouting combine? What RJ Ochoa makes of the types of players that the Dallas Cowboys have been interviewing both formal and informal at the scouting combine, and if he sees that as a trend that we may look to towards the draft. And most importantly, when it comes to this Jerry Jones all-in thing, timing is going to be everything. Timing's going to dictate a lot of what they are able to do in free agency, because without a Dak deal, it's going to be really hard to work around other things. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we're reacting to the Spurs' first game back at home against the Thunder. Plus, the NFLPA survey is out, and the Dallas Cowboys didn't score as well as you think that they did. The combine drills, they're starting, and we're ready to discuss. We start at 6 a.m. on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game, and it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start playing today. Thank me later.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replay. Stop. Opt out.
Guys, let's get real about your hair loss. How long have you been wearing a hat, hiding thinning hair, or a rapidly growing bald spot? Just stop it. You're not a 12-year-old little leaguer. You're a grown man. It's time to take action. Let the hat go and get your real hair back permanently with Bosley. You heard that right. Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. And right now, Bosley is giving away and a free gift card to everyone that texts EDGE to 200-300. Plus, text right now and get a link to this month's incredible deals. Join the millions of people who come to Bosley and see just how awesome your hair could look. Text EDGE to 200-300 for your absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card off, plus a special link to incredible deals. Text EDGE to 200-300 now. Text EDGE to 200-300.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You want to know the difference between Steve Allison and Mark LaHood? Steve Allison defends kids. Mark LaHood defends violent criminals. Steve Allison banned drag shows for children. LaHood brags on his own law website about getting sex offenders off the hook. Steve Allison is a lifelong conservative. LaHood voted for liberal Democrats, including Joe Biden, all the way up until 2022. Steve designated Mexican drug cartels as terrorists. LaHood chooses to defend Mexican drug traffickers, putting them back on the streets. Steve Allison empowered police to arrest and deport illegal immigrants. Mark LaHood defended a violent criminal who was caught trying to murder a Border Patrol agent. The NRA, San Antonio Police Officers Association, and the Bexar County Deputy Sheriffs all endorsed Steve Allison. LaHood's campaign is paid for by neo-Nazi affiliates and criminals he's gotten off the hook. Steve Allison is honest and decent. Everything LaHood says about Steve is false. Every word. Now you know the difference.
Political ad paid for by the Steve Allison campaign. For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Tonight at 8:30, it's the Heat and Nuggets. The NBA lives on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
That's right. We got the NBA tonight, 8:30, late game. Nuggets, Heat, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA. Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger, and if you are on our YouTube feed right now, which you should be, of course, go to SA Sports Star on YouTube. Like, subscribe, be a part of the Noti Gang. The Noti Gang is always where it needs to be. You just make a check real quick in terms of audio. You will see the fact that RJ Ochoa has joined me on our YouTube channel. Of course, RJ Ochoa of the Morning Huddle. He and Rob Thompson get you going every morning right here from 6 to 10. And I know it's a difficult ask. Is it getting any easier? Because you had a kid before this, so the hours were a bit wonky early in his development anyway, right?
Yeah. When you first have a kid, they eat like every 2 to 3 hours. And so, and even, if you trade shifts with your partner, it can be more bearable, but you do certainly go through something similar. I would say the hardest part is forcing myself to go to bed early.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing as a night owl.
Especially when you talk sports.
Yeah, like last night I wanted to watch the entire premiere of the new season of Survivor, but it was 2 hours long. And I was like, Jeff Probst, I love you, but I can't do the second hour tonight. I'm gonna have to bump this to Thursday. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm excited to find out.
That is awesome. RJ Ochoa joins us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. RJ, I've been listening, and it's not you, it's everybody. And I just feel very strongly about, for some reason, defending Jerry Jones. I don't feel compelled to defend him often, but I feel compelled to defend him in this instance because I felt like he told Cowboy fans what his version of all in was. And his direct words are, with our contracts that we're going to prioritize.
Yeah, I saw the video you put out where you threw some shade at Joe and I. We discussed.
It's not you. It's literally all of the media.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of us under the shade, but there is shade nonetheless. I think that Jerry is going to play semantics the way that you're kind of doing, not accusing you of that, but Jerry's going to lean on the literal. My take at the very beginning was that he's going to say, "Hey, we paid Dak $60 million a year, CD $30 million a year, Micah $30 million a year. That is all in."
We're all
and
in.
In a vacuum, you could totally argue that is being all in. But he went on to say it's going to be different with different players than we've done in the past. And even if he hadn't said that, he knew what he was doing. The loss was still really fresh at that moment in time. He was trying to bait people, and a lot of people did fall for it.
Now, he said we're going to go all in on different players than we have in the past. To be fair, CD and Micah are different players than they've gone all in on the past because they have yet to be paid.
Semantics. I mean, you're right. Like that, those are semantics. By the way,
Jerry is the king of double talk.
I agree with you. I did want to point out a comment from J4 who said, I didn't even realize this, said, "Oh, snap, it's a Saturday morning hangover throwback squad. Look at that."
There it is. J4 is an O-Dog, the original.
I should have worn my my Celtic shorts for this.
You mean these?
Oh my God. Wow, I was not prepared for that. Wow. Okay. Wow,
I woke up this morning and it felt right. I was wearing my Jordan 3 Pines. I was like, they go great with these Celtics shorts. And
yeah.
That was before I even thought about contacting you to come on.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't remember, we made the Celtics the official. It couldn't be the Spurs, so we made them the official. And we had a lot of teams, and they were the official NBA team of the show. And we both bought shorts, and I was so upset because you won the coin toss, and you got to get the white ones. So I have the green ones, and they just don't really go with a lot of things in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
I don't wear them as often, but I might have to wear them this weekend now, and especially if Patty Mills goes to Boston. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I agree with you. Like that. That's what Jerry's going to say. He's going to say, "Oh, well, we had never given CD a contract. We never given Micah a contract. We gave out the richest contract in defensive NFL history and NFL history." And I mean, it's more of the same, and that's frustrating. But I mean, I think people have every right to be angry for. I mean, he did not have to do that. He did not have to tear open old wounds like that. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he has ridden all of the attention from it, including from us here, for about a month now. And in less than 2 weeks' time, they're going to do nothing, and they're going to act like we're the ones who were wrong for getting excited based off of words that he said.
100%. Now, because the Cowboys can free up a lot of extra money by getting these deals done, which would allow them not to say go overpay a Xavier Howard or trade for a L'Jarius Sneed, but maybe get a linebacker like a Josie Jewell who fits a position of need and would be, you're not overpaying. You're not going out and getting Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry, but you would bring in talented players at positions of need by opening up this cap space. But the key component to all of this is timing. You've got to get these deals done in order to open up this space before free agency starts on the new league year. September 11th, I believe, is when the legal tampering opens.
March 11th,
I meant.
Yeah.
But like timing is everything with all of these all-in moves.
Yeah, and I mean, it's made sense that the Dak extension is the big one, in terms of alleviating salary cap space. And it's made sense that they would take care of this prior to the new league year beginning, to your point, so they can utilize that salary cap space. And I have, for the last month, I guess, felt pretty confident that the extension will happen. Now we have whatever it is, 10 days, to kind of monitor things in a serious capacity before the 11th hour. But I will say that the fact that Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, his opinion I trust probably more than anybody on the local beat. The fact that he wrote this morning that an extension with Dak Prescott is not a given, that does, cause me to pause and cause me to sit back and say, okay, if Michael Gelkin's willing to publish this, it is a legit possibility that they don't do this. And not only would that mean they don't do anything in free agency, but that would mean that they are legitimately, kind of moving towards a future potentially without Dak.
Could that be something that Jerry means by going all in this year in terms of letting everyone write it out on the final year of a deal? And then at the end of the year, if it doesn't go the way it should, blowing it up with new players coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that could be another twist on the literalness of those words. But I think when you think of the expression "all in," the whole point of it is to double up, right? Like that's the benefit of going all in if you win the hand in question.
I
But
am so confident that
right. Or I'm so desperate that, right? Like sometimes you're just, you're kind of down and you're like, oh, I'm getting blinded out of this thing anyway. And so the reality is if they go at this without, this season without extending Dak, he's probably gone because he will hit the open market next offseason. And despite everybody thinking he sucks and he's trash and he's whatever, there will be somebody who is willing to pay more than the Dallas Cowboys are just because they're that frugal. And so it's not going all in. It's just going all and hoping that it works out. And if it doesn't, then okay, we're out. It's not the proper utilization of that expression, if that's his true meaning, in my point.
RJ Ochoa of the Morning Huddle right here on San Antonio Sports Star. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Joining us via the Virus Barricade guest line, RJ. We get really caught up in everything that the Cowboys should be doing, but by their own nature, they are extend our own guys and draft well and go that route. And that's been their MO for the last decade. And they've been very good at it. We got to give them their flowers in that instance, at least through the first 4 rounds of the draft. They has been entirely successful. And we're starting to get a list of formal and informal interviews that they have had while at the scouting combine. And I'm seeing names like Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker out of A&M, Junior Colson, the linebacker out of Michigan, Tyrone Hopper, the linebacker out of Missouri, McKinley Jackson, defensive tackle out of A&M, Mason Smith, defensive tackle Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle out of Michigan. I'm seeing a lot of defensive tackles and linebackers, Jalen Ford. I mean, you name it. If they have an LB or a DT next to their position, the Cowboys seem like they've talked to them. Is that an indication of where they may be looking to invest heavily in this draft?
I think it's maybe page 1 of the, Game of Thrones size book, right? You've got to, understand this as a process. And, even the formal visits at the combine really don't mean a whole lot. The more those are the ones that, those are the final contestants that make the season of The Bachelor. You know what I mean? Like those are the real deal. We are seriously considering you with some premium draft capital early on in the draft, whatever the case may be. Now there are exceptions. Like you mentioned, Edgerrin Cooper, they don't have to invite him because he went to Texas A&M. He's a local guy for them. So there are some loopholes that certain guys kind of fall through. But it's right now they're casting the wide net. They're going to bring it up to shore in a little bit and kind of see what they yield and what they bring in and figure things out. But the other reality too is if you don't extend Dak, you've got to kind of do some homework on quarterbacks. And that's a weird thing to consider given how talented we think this team is. But you could be in a position, less than a year from now where you don't have a franchise quarterback, and it can't be Trey Lance because you're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. And so you really have an open-ended blank space next to that potential idea. Again, if you decide not to extend Dak in the here and now.
Are the 30 visits going to be the most important things? Because I remember, we've talked about this before on the Saturday Morning Hangover in terms of the Cowboys' propensity to draft players that they have physically been in a room and spent a lot of time with. And the list is pretty shocking when you look at who they've actually had when it comes to their 30 visits and who they've actually drafted.
Yeah, at least with regards to first round draft picks in the last decade-ish, Morris Claiborne was not a 30 visit, but he was, just this insanely, inordinately touted, prospect. He was like the highest rated player they'd had non-quarterback since Deion Sanders in terms of just draft or draft evaluation.
That being said, Morris Claiborne and corner from the Chiefs, Brandon Carr. That feels like the last gasp of what we still think Jerry is, but used to be.
Yeah, well, that was, to your point, I agree with you. That was the last, let's be wild, let's be a little reckless. And they didn't even give up a future first-round draft pick then. You could also argue, I guess, in that sense, the Amari Cooper trade was kind of, that way, kind of a spur of the moment sort of thing. But even then, that was 6 years ago now. The Mo Claiborne, Brandon Carr offseason, because they happened in the same offseason, that was 12 years ago. That was 2012. And they moved up, I think it was from 12 to 6 to draft Mo right after they'd given Brandon Carr all this money. He made him, at the time, one of the highest paid corners in NFL history. And he was a fine player for them, but he wasn't Deion Sanders. And so they felt like it was this big failure. But so Mo, and I want to say Zach Martin, I could be wrong there. I might be misremembering, but they were the only two non-30 visits. And sometimes it's just a matter of like in Zach Martin's case, again, I think that was the other one, but just to say that as a hypothetical, you don't think that dude's going to make it to you. So it's why burn one of the 30 spots, on somebody like that when it isn't going to happen in all likelihood, but sometimes it does because that's the way the NFL draft goes.
RJ Ochoa of the Morning Huddle. Be sure to catch his stuff every morning. He and Rob Thompson get you going 6 a.m. Of course, they bring the coffee. RJ, thanks for the time today, my man.
Pleasure. I hope you have a delicious dinner and a delicious dessert, and I hope you sleep in an incredible slumber.
I appreciate that. I am now starting to think about dinner, and it's making me hungry. So I've got some work to do here for the next 30 minutes to figure out what I want. Appreciate you, RJ.
Saturday. How did we used to end the Saturday morning hover? We had a line. I forgot what it was, but whatever it was, say that.
That one
in your heart. That's the one.
He is RJ Ochoa. Be sure to check him out every single morning, 6 to 10, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, the Morning Huddle. He and Rob Thompson. When we come back, the San Antonio Spurs, well, they made some moves today, and they got a game tonight. Could more moves be on the way for this team? And is the time we have a serious talk about what to truly expect from them moving forward? Does our perception of this team need to shift? That's coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11890, just minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-384-1340. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here.
It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-384-1340. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-384-1340.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% when you buy 10 or more select primed finger joint boards. And there's more. Save 10% on your choice of any 5 or more Reliabuilt lock sets. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. J4 chimes in after our conversation with RJ Ochoa, who joined us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades preside traffic rental and control for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. J4 says, no matter what is said by any Cowboys player, Dak lost that locker room years ago. Look, I get it. There's a lot of people that want Dak gone and think a fresh new start is the best way to go. Truth is, he is one of about 15 people in the world that can do what they do at a high enough level to be in the conversation of winning an MVP. There aren't many that have, can, or do. Arnold P is closing out. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Arnold P, joining us on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe. You can comment along right there, or you can give us a call, 210-656-3776, 210-656-3776. The San Antonio Spurs, they got a game tonight. Once again, they're playing one of the top teams in the league that are in the West. The Thunder are tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves, who they just fell to the other night. And while it was close in terms of score at the end, 9 points, that game was not close for the majority of that game. They're playing another highly touted team. And I think it's a team that the Spurs, in their heart of hearts, probably wants to mirror in terms of second youngest team in the league, only to San Antonio. They've done it from within for the most part. One really massive trade, the one that landed them Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was still a person that was a good player, but he transcended being good into being great and is now considered an MVP candidate. And then you've got the other Rookie of the Year candidate, Chet Holmgren, Josh Giddey, Lugans Dort. I mean, they've got players on players on players. Williams. I mean, they've stacked through the draft a really young, deep squad. And in my heart of heart, I believe that's what San Antonio wants to be. They want to be what Oklahoma City has done. They want to do it through the draft. Can they do it through the draft? That is what remains to be seen, because I have my concerns, because I look at the way that they've drafted as of late. Wemby's a slam dunk. You're not missing on that. Devin Vassell is coming around. I think we all think that Keldon is at his ceiling. And he's the fourth, fifth, sixth man, whatever you want, on a really, really, really good team. But he's not your second, he's not your first, and he's not your third. So, other than that, Jeremy Sohan, he's a good garbage guy. But do you want a garbage guy as high as they took Jeremy Sohan? Is that your aspirations for the 8th overall pick? Until Wemby, Sohan was the highest drafted Spur since Tim Duncan. Excuse me or other players, or fans, I mean, for expecting more out of that draft pick. But it's not Sohan's fault. I mean, he wasn't a starter on his team at Baylor. They drafted on a projection. They did the same thing with Joshua Primo. He was a guy when drafted at 11, if I remember correctly. Everyone was mind blown because he was not seen as anything but a late first round prospect. But if he didn't return to school, he possibly would have been a lottery pick the following season. But he came out and they drafted his potential that never amounted and still has not amounted, to be fair. I'm not sure that I fully trust where we're going in the draft year after year, especially if you're not picking at the very top with a generational talent that everybody says is a can't miss. There haven't been many hits in the Brian Wright era. Now, Devin Vassell is one of the hits. Devin Vassell is a player that you feel like can be a piece to what can be a very, very talented team moving forward. But I say this knowing 11 wins. They are one of the worst teams in the league. They are not the worst team in the league. But exactly what we've all wanted: growth, winning. Is it time to shift those expectations in terms of the actual betterment of the team? You've got about a 4-game lead on Charlotte for being one of the bottom 3 teams in the league. And we all know if you're in the bottom 3, you get the most opportunities to land in the top of the draft. Those 3 teams share the best lottery odds at winning the number 1 overall pick. Is it time we start looking at this year like last year? Even though, while Alexander Sarr and Nikola Topic don't completely wow or amaze the way that Victor Wembanyama did last year, is it in the best interest for them to get as high of a draft pick as they can at this point of the season? Because they also own Toronto's pick. And if that one conveys, I think it's around 8. Other players, you could have 2 lottery picks inside the top 10 when all's said and done. And if you're trying to reboot as fast as you can, getting your generational talent and pairing him with another top 3 pick and then a top 8 pick the very following year, or using one or both of those picks in an attempt to bring a legitimate veteran all-star to accompany him. Maybe like a Trey Jones, since his name has been out there as much as it has. And, they're talking about each other to the media during All-Star weekend, especially Trey. And Trey is rumored to be on the move this summer. What do? DJ Fresh says Josh Edey would be a huge help. Yeah, probably. But the thing with Edey is going to come down to conditioning and how much he can actually play in this league. He's a late first, second round projection right now by most pundits. And it's going to be a stamina issue with him because of his size and his ability to, play the minutes that will make him what he can be in this league. Is Wemby a top 10 player at this moment in the league? J4 wants to know. Top 10? I could make the argument. I could definitely make that argument for Victor Wembanyama. I can make arguments against it as well, obviously, but I think he's in that conversation of being right on the fringe of the top 10. You've got your Jason Tatum's, your Nikola Jokic's, your LeBron James's, your Steph Curry's, your Giannis Antetokounmpo's. Then you start having conversations. Yeah, Dame Lillard is a great player. Would you rather have Dame or Victor Wembanyama? You look at Jimmy Butler. You start looking across the league at Jaylen Brown, Zion Williamson, the other superstars in this league. And you can start having the debate of, especially with where he is, his trajectory, how much time he still has left in this league. Luka Doncic, of course, one of the big ones that I missed. I mean, I can make the argument that he is in the vicinity of the top 10 in the league at this current moment. And the way you hear other players in this league talk about him, I think they also could make that argument. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking with RJ about it. Does the visits that they're having indicate Dallas Cowboys might be going in the upcoming draft? And there's a report out of Houston that says one of the top free agents would love to join CJ Stroud in Houston and is voicing it to CJ himself. We'll tell you what's going on next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we're reacting to the Spurs' first game back at home against the Thunder. Plus, the NFLPA survey is out, and the Dallas Cowboys didn't score as well as you think that they did. The combine drills, they're starting, and we're ready to discuss. We start at 6 a.m. on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
We're in the studio right now with Jose Rios from the Gomez Law Firm. Jose, tell us a little about Gomez Law.
Number one priority is to let the people know that we are a law firm that's been part of this community for almost 50 years. You know, Mr. Gomez, he's been a practicing attorney here since 1973. He's born and raised here in San Antonio, done nothing but help out personal injury victims for almost half a century. It's very important that we get that out to the San Antonio community, because a lot of these attorneys like to come in here and act like they're from here, but you know, they're all out-of-towners. They don't know what goes on here. They really don't know.
If you have been injured in an accident, injured at work, or hit by a company vehicle, don't take on the big insurance companies by yourself. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere. And remember, Gomez Law fights.
If you have been injured in an accident, injured at work, or hit by a company vehicle, the first place you need to go is joegomezlaw.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings. With pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate RJ Ochoa of the Morning Huddle for jumping on with me at 6:15 as we talked about the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's all-in comments, which still seem to be making news, even though he told us exactly what he was doing when he said all-in. But there's another team that might really go all-in, but I don't know to the extent. Per Aaron Wilson of KPRC2 in Houston, one of the reporters that follows the Houston Texans very, very closely. Saquon Barkley has targeted the Houston Texans as his top free agent destination, and he has been in communication with Texans quarterback CJ Stroud. That's massive in terms of, yeah, he wants to play there. The Texans have a ton of cap space. Now, if he wants to be there at $12, $14 million per year, I'm not sure that Nick Caserio wants him there. Nick Caserio did talk yesterday about free agency.
Free agency it's a process. Nothing's going to happen overnight. I'd say we've had constructive conversations with a number of agents. Start with our players. We'll have an opportunity to visit with some of the agents of other players that may want to be Houston Texans. Whether or not there's a mutual interest or not, we'll find that out here as we go. I think it's just finding the right people with the right mindset and the right mentality to fit the program that we're trying to build, and that's the most important thing.
Nick Caserio on free agency and the news that Saquon Barkley puts the Texans on the top of his free agent wish list. This is what I'm talking about. Having a franchise quarterback changes everything because players now want to play with someone like CJ Stroud the same way they want to play with Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or any other the other great quarterbacks in this league. But at the same time, he meets the Texans timeline in terms of they have cap space. They can use that cap space while CJ Stroud and Will Anderson are both on rookie deals without blowing things up or getting things out of whack, as long as it's not too much money invested. They don't want to overpay when the market is dictating a different price. Now, there is a chance that I do believe that they let the market dictate the price and see if Saquon comes to their price or if Saquon expects other teams to come to his asking price. That's going to be the most important thing. But it is the perfect fix for the Houston Texans. If you can get him at a certain price point and bring back Devin Singletary, your backfield is taken care of for next year, and CJ has all the weapons he'll need at his disposal. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Coming up at 8:30, don't forget, we got Nuggets Heat right here on your home for the NBA. San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 and a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1